Hello everyone, this video we will start lecture 3, Tables. I'm your instructor, Ms. Laura Low. We are in week 2, so we will go over module 2. In module 2, we will focus on Python and tables. We have 3 lecture files for you. In this video, we will break lecture 3 in 2 to 3 videos. In lecture 3, we will focus on tables. We start talking about what is the Python programming. We show you some fundamental Python programming, and we will introduce you what are tables. After lecture 3, we have 2 more lectures to introduce you more about Python and tables. Let's talk about Python. Many of you heard about Python programming. Yes, for Python is very popular for data science or some general software development. In this class, as we introduced you last week, data science, we analyze, observe the data. When we observe data, also we will apply some statistic computation. So Python programming provides many useful packages. So that will be very easy to do the statistic computation. And Python programming language also provides some package very easy to do the data visualization. So that's why Python is very popular for the data science. Also, like last week we talked about, for this class, it's very nice to have programming experience or statistic knowledge, but it's not required. So don't be panicked if you never have programming experience. For this class, when we introduce Python programming, we will focus on the package used for data science purpose. You don't have to master in Python programming. So to learn a new programming language, the programming fundamental is critical. So during the lecture, we will give you some demo, or in the lab exercise and homework assignment, we will show you some fundamental concept for you to practice. The most important thing is after we demo those programming, show you some programming statement. The most important thing is for you also try by yourself. You learn the language by speaking of that. So the same thing, programming language, you learn through practice. So see the example we show you and also try by yourself. From our demo, you will learn those rules. So you just copy from that. You understand that function or method, how they do. Maybe try different number to see if you can get the outcome. And before you get the outcome, try to see what you are expecting. So make sure you try out variants of those examples yourself and write the new code to solve the new program, to solve the new problem. But before that, also you need to kind of idea to guess what they will get. And if not, if correct, that's great. But if not, then you need to learn why you got that wrong. So let's see some example. The good thing about Cubic Notebook is each cell we can just start typing and do some Python coding. So here we just start with some arithmetic for Python. We already showed you before. Remember each cell, you can just like you do the math. So the enter is just continue to press, or then you finish each cell, you can just run. Okay, so like we say, they can do some calculation. Okay, so then you can either just press the run, or we can do is we can just using the shift and enter. So they will run as well. So you can see you can do any, like you do the regular algebra calculation. And the good thing here, we show you, if you learn programming language before, then you will see here, supposedly in other programming language, when you have the 8 divided by 9, they will consider that's integer divided by integer. But Python actually just give you the decimal number. Okay, so then we can also do something like this. Okay, so then you run. Yep, you have some error. That's okay. So whenever you have an error, you need to see why and see the error message. Yeah, they told you that's invalid syntax. Because actually your asterisk, we know that's multiplication. So in module 1, we told you 2 asterisk actually is the exponent. So why your syntax error? Because this is an operator. You need to have the operand on both sides. So that's why here, if we change to 2 asterisk 3, so then if you run again, yeah, they give you the 2 to the third power. Okay, so that's because you have some syntax error. Yeah, so you can do your calculation like we told you on the Python. They follow the algebra calculation. So you can have parentheses. Then you continue, you multiply. Yeah, if you want to do more, you can continue to do more. They follow the order operation. Okay, and also we can try to display. Okay, so then display the hello. Okay, so let's see here, even you put some text, then they will display. So like earlier we say, sometimes you just have some error, but don't worry about that. You need to know how to fix that. So for example, actually, if you have space or without space, that's important. Even earlier we say the 2 asterisk is exponent, but we see here if we run 2 space, then asterisk space asterisk, then you have syntax error. Okay, so be careful. If you want to be an operator together, the 2 asterisk, they need to be together. Otherwise, if you split that with a space, they will consider this one is what? Yeah, it's multiplication. So if that's multiplication, the both sides they need to have an operand. That means the number. So that's why you can correct that. How to correct that? Just add a number. Then we run again, you see you get result correctly and no syntax error. So here we can see not only so usually when you in the cell, this one we call that the expression. So your expression, when you run that, they will have a result, and the result can be integer, can be a double or floating number. That means you have decimal point. Okay, and also sometimes just the text alone, we call that a string. So this is we call the data type. We will talk about more in the next lecture. So one good thing is using a Jupyter notebook. In each cell, it's easy to code. Then you can try different Python expression. Especially for people, if you never take programming language before, yeah, try by yourself. Why Python is so popular? Because you can either write a source file .py to run a whole Python statement, but also you can just have like command line to run like this. It's very easy to use Python. Okay, so let's have some summary. Okay, so about the Python concept. So earlier we show you in each expression you write, that's an expression. They evaluate a value. So you sometimes will show you in the future lecture, you can run the expression and evaluate to a value and assign to a variable. The value can be different data type. They can be numbers, integer, float, or just string. We call that a text, but in programming language, we say that data type is string. Okay, you will see a lot of different kind of value. The syntax of the language actually is very rigid. Okay, how you write a language is rigid. Why? Because we need to have a rule. Just like how you learn English. In English, you have our Chinese, they have their grammar. You need to follow the rule. So that's why you see earlier, even an extra space can cause a syntax error, like our asterisk. So you just need to follow those rules to learn a language, even that's programming language. Okay. Sometimes you have some particular behavior associated with the built-in operator you need to learn. Okay, so the same thing, like we say, 2 asterisk, no space is exponent. And you can use, when you do the divide, actually they will divide become the decimal instead of the integer. Like we say, there is particular behavior associated. So in different programming language or different language, they all have their own rule. So earlier, if you see the string for Python, we use the single quote. If you learn C++ before, then you will say, a single quote. Actually, that's for the letter. Then if we want to use the string, we use double quote. But for Python, either single quote or double quote, you both can do for the string. So we see again, like here, we do the hello. That's wrong again. Okay. But also, if you do the hello double quote, you wrong, they still accept as a string. So if you never learn any programming language, yeah, so don't worry about that. You just know string is kind of plain text. That's a data type. In Python, you can do the single quote or double quote. If you learn C++ before, then you just need to know for Python, they just both can accept single quote or double quote. But C++ double quote is for the string. So why like that? Like we say, any programming language, they have their own rule. Just like you learn different language. So why you say in English, you say how are you? But in Chinese, you say 你好. When you say Korean, it's 안녕하세요. Then Japanese is konbanwa or konnichiwa. So then you can say ciao in Italian. Yeah, so that's one thing is remember any language they have their own rule. So programming language the same. If that's your first programming language to learn Python, don't worry, just follow the rule and remember the rule. Okay, so that's our first video for the lecture 3. In the next video, we will continue to talk about name. That's how you assign the variable.